Kolbrin Bible, Book 4, Sons of Fire, Chapter 19, Letter of Mata, a son of Agner. SOF 19:1. The barbarians ask, Who and what is the Supreme Spirit? Say unto him, Conceive it as a being even above your greatest God, if it helps in your understanding. See the Supreme Spirit as a God reflecting his image as yourself. It is he who fills heaven and earth with his might, and his powers are displayed in the elemental forces. He is now as in the beginning, and will be no different after the end. He formed men by building an earthly structure around a heavenly seed, and into this he infused the vapors of life. He maintains the order of the heavens and stabilizes the land in the waters. His breath is the breath of life, and he causes water to fall and greenery to live. Say to the barbarians, Look about you and see God reflected as in a mirror. No mortal man has ever looked upon him directly, but his reflection may be seen with immunity. SOF 19:2. The barbarian seeks a God he can see, but try and make him understand. This is impossible because of God's very greatness and the littleness of man. Take the barbarian out next time the sun shines at its strength and ask him to gaze upon it. He will be forced to admit that it is beyond his powers to do so. Then say unto him, See, it is beyond your power to look upon even the shield behind which Hola hides himself because of his brightness. Yet even this great God is no more than a faint, far-off reflection, embodying the ray-carrying power from the Supreme Spirit. How then could you hope to look upon the source of power itself? SOF 19:3. The barbarians are still children, and these sayings do not easily come within their understanding. Because of this, it may be best if they were taught by simple tales like children, and so brought into the light gradually. A belief in the Supreme Spirit is of no great importance, and an inquiry into its nature by the ignorant is purposeless foolishness. It is of much more importance to men that they believe in their own souls. Belief in a God of any sort without belief in the immortality of man and his godlikeness serves no end. If a God existed without man deriving any benefit from his existence, it would be better for man to ignore him. This, however, is not the case. Man seeks unity and communion with the Supreme Spirit only for his own benefit. Man has a destiny founded in something greater than himself, and hence his need for that something. SOF 19:4. The existence of a Supreme Being is not just something to accept, believe in, and ignore. A belief, faith alone, cannot be ends in themselves, for nothing exists without purpose. Simple belief in a Supreme Being is not enough. We must know the purpose or intention of the being. If we believe this Supreme Being created us, however this was brought about, we must seek to discover the purpose behind our creation. If we were created to serve some purpose, to do something we were intended to do, we must do it, or earn our Creator's displeasure. Does the potter keep the pot useless for its purpose, or the smith keep unwrought metal? Only things which serve a purpose for which they were intended are kept and cherished. SOF 19:5. Therefore, we who are brothers were taught not only to believe in a Supreme Being, but also in our similarity to him. The Supreme Spirit is not a stranger beyond our kin. The powers of the Supreme Spirit infuse every fiber of our bodies. SOF 19:6. If we have difficulties among the barbarians, the difficulties here are no less. The truth we have seems not only impalatable, but also indigestible. Men seek tastier food, even though it is less sustaining, and few replace the brothers who depart. Would we serve better if we presented truth as a draught diluted with water and honey? SOF 19:7. The threat of the barbarian king is something upon which you shall be counseled. If you are threatened with the alternatives of death or transgressing our laws, you may transgress them within reason and the bounds of conscience. If, however, you are required to deny all that you hold to be good and true, to betray all that we hold sacred, then you must accept death for the sake of your soul. You will be informed about these things by Kun of Abalon, who comes later, so only the things you inquire about are answered. SOF 19:8. For the sake of the barbarians, it is perhaps best to call the Supreme Spirit God, the God without a name. This will solve some difficulties, and if the barbarians think themselves superior because they contain him within a name, let it be so, and hold yourself in peace. SOF 19:9. Say to the barbarians, as the soul of man fills his body, so does God fill his domain. As the soul surrounds and contains the body, so is it with God and his creation. As the soul sees but cannot be seen, so does God see without being seen. As the soul feels, so does God. As the soul oversees the nourishment of the body, so does God revitalize the whole of his habitation. As the soul occupies an unfindable place within the body of man, so is the residence of God unfathomable. No man can know the seat of the soul, and no man can know the seat of God. SOF 19:10. The barbarians make images of God to make him more understandable. Are we much better? Who make images of him in our likenesses within our thoughts, not perhaps because we believe him so, but to make him more understandable. SOF 19:11. As man's understanding of God increases, so does God recede, so that though through the ages man comes to understand God better, he ever keeps the same distance away. We who dwell in the light of the Supreme Spirit have come closer to understanding, not because we are better men, but because we have devoted our lives to the search. If any man seek carefully and diligently enough, he must find whatever it is he seeks. SOF 19:12. The rest of this letter is missing, but on a small recovered scrap dealing with buildings it refers to Galheda. Elsewhere, it is stated that Galheda rewrote it.